Señoritas y señores, bienvenidos a otro video para Español 1. I'm looking at the board because as far as I remember, this is the latest homework video. This is número 8. Número 8 in the series. And we are on chapter 2A still. And this time we are switching from the vocabulario section of chapter 2A to the gramática section of chapter 2A. So as always, if you're taking me for Spanish 1, muchas gracias for checking in. Don't forget to leave a comment below for the points. But yeah, so here we are, and here I am in la clase de español. It's after school, and so ¿cómo están? Yeah, so let's take a look at the grammar that you need to know for capítulo 2A, and it's out of the libro. Well, I gotta show you right now, this is the chapter that we're on. Tu día en la escuela. You're talking about your school, and so, you know, we've already gone over the vocabulario, like I said, so make sure that you guys study this and make sure that you know it. We should have been able to take a vocabulary quiz by now. If we haven't yet, then it's coming up very soon. But yeah, so let's take a look at the first grammar lesson, something called subject pronouns. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows that in English, if you want to use subject pronouns, the ones that are in English are I, you, he, she, us, or we, they. And the reason why we use subject pronouns, señoritas y señores, is because, you know, we don't want to keep repeating the name of the person, place, or thing if we already know who we're talking about. You know, so page 82 in the libro, página 82 en el libro, is gonna give you the whole book version, but let me give you the quick and condensed version, which hopefully will be just as easy to understand. And there it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so in a subject of a sentence, it tells you who is doing the action, especially when it's somebody, you know, like a person. I, you, he, she, we, they, all right, is what we use in English. Subject pronouns in Spanish perform the same exact function. They do the same exact thing. So here they are. Here they are, señoritas y señores. So more or less, this is what you're looking at, all right? If you want to say I in Español, you say yo. If you want to say you in Español, you say tú. Now, if you want to say you, however, if it's a bit more formal, because remember from way back at the beginning of the school year, there's the difference when you're talking to somebody your age and a grown-up, for example, okay? You're gonna want to use usted. Okay, once again, if you're talking to an individual, you're either using tú or usted, because tú is, you know, informal, dressed down. Usted, more formal, dressed up. You're wanting to say, if you want to say him, then it's él. Notice that there's an accent over the E and él. Oh, I forgot to mention that there is an accent mark over the U and tú. And those are important because without the accent marks, check it out. Tú, without it, means your. But what we're going for is you, okay? Él, without the accent mark, means the. And that's why we need the accent mark over it, because that means him. Ella is her. We, nosotros. But if it's only chicas present, then it's nosotras. All right? So that's how that works. Now, if I want to say all of you, or you all, or y'all, or however you want to say it, if I'm talking to a group of people, then I'm going to address all of you as ustedes. Ustedes. All right? And finally, if I want to say they, it's going to be ellos. But if it's only chicas, no guys, it's going to be ellas. So once again, the ones you're working with are yo, tú. Oops, I got that wrong. Let me try it again. Yo, tú, usted, él, ella, nosotros, sometimes nosotras, ustedes, and finally ellos, sometimes ellas. If I'm doing a lot of like hand signals, it's because I used to play baseball when I was younger. Did I tell you that? I used to play baseball. In fact, I think I remember back in 1985, I led my team to the city championships. I mean, we lost the final game. Well, I did throw up on the mound. That's not important. Let's break down a couple of details about all this. Check it out. Tú, usted, and ustedes, all of those mean you. So in English, it's pretty easy because the word you can represent, you no matter what your age is or what your status is, and you if you're talking to a group of people. Cool, right? But in Español, it's a bit more specific. So once again, tú, usted, ustedes all mean you. Once again, from the beginning of the school year, tú, dress down, it's informal. So talk to your brother or your familia or friends, people your age, using tú. Make sure that you use usted. It's more formal with grown-ups, people with important jobs, that type of thing, grandma, most definitely. Make sure that you tell grandma usted. Don't ever call her tú. All right, trust me on that one. Usted is let's see. This part right over here. You can abbreviate usted and you can abbreviate ustedes. All right, yeah. So you don't have to write it all out all the time. So if you want, you can abbreviate usted, capital UD period. And that's as good as writing this out, okay? You can abbreviate ustedes, all of you or you all, capital UDS period. And that'll save you just a couple, of seconds writing out ustedes, all right? What about vosotros and vosotras? I'm glad you asked. Well, señoritas y señores, vosotros and vosotras is primarily used in España. It's very rarely used in the Americas, at least our part of the world. I can tell you with certainty, I've been all over Mexico and I've never heard it. Anytime somebody wants to talk to a group of people, we use ustedes, and that's it, okay? However, if you are serious about living in Madrid or Barcelona or Salamanca or Toledo or any one of those amazing Spain cities or Spanish cities, then just know this. If someone tells you vosotros, they're talking to a group of people like, vosotros, all of you guys. It's the same thing as usted is what we use here. And it's actually pretty interesting. I did have a chance to travel to Spain, and I can tell you from experience, yes, they most definitely use vosotros and vosotras. However, I was able to understand them no problem because I kind of thought to myself, I think they mean ustedes. It's more or less the same thing as ustedes in a nutshell. There's some, specific differences, which I won't really get into the whole history of vosotros versus ustedes. Just know, if you're talking to a group of people here in our little corner of the world, it's going to be ustedes. All right? All right. So I did mention this earlier. So if you want to say we, if it's all dudes, it's nosotros. Now, if it's all dudettes, it's all chicas, it's nosotras. And if it's a mixed group of chicos and chicas, it's gonna be nosotros. See, the masculine form is the default for a mixed group of guys and girls in a room, okay? So the next time you are in a classroom, next time you're in Spanish class, if you want to say we, it's going to be nosotros, all right? They. If it's chicos, it's ellos. If it's chicas, it's ellas. And if it's both, again, just like nosotros, it's going to be ellos. The default is going to be the masculine form, all right? Also, ladies and gentlemen, there will be times when you can mix and match. Mix and match, yep. So, for example, Juan y yo, Juan and me, that means we. That's the same as we. So it's going to be nosotros, okay? Pepe y tú, Pepe y tú, okay? That's going to mean the same as you guys. That's going to be ustedes. Max y ella, Max y ella, okay? That's a chico and a chica. That's ellos, okay? Because once again, the default is the masculine form. And then Lola y ella, two chicas, that's going to be ellas because once again, no chicos present. So the description is going to be feminine. All right. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's recap really quick once again. Yo, tú, usted, él, ella, nosotros, sometimes nosotras, ustedes, ellos, sometimes ellas. And there you go. Those are your Spanish subject pronouns. All right, I did forget to mention this, that there's a poster in my classroom, and this is it right over here. Let me see if I could try to get a full shot of this. Ta-da! So these cartoon characters are more or less demonstrating how to use I, you, he, she, us, we, they in Spanish. Okay, so take a look at this dude right over here. He's pointing to himself. Yo. Tú, he's pointing to you. Él, ella, okay, he's pointing at her, she's pointing at him. And then usted, you see this little kid talking to a grown-up, okay. Nosotros, again, it's a mixed group of chicos and chicas, okay. Nosotras, only chicas right over here. And this is what I was telling you earlier. Vosotros and vosotras means ustedes. It means the same thing as ustedes, just it's used in Spain. And then the last drawing, the last panel, ellos, them, okay, mixed group. Ellas, only chicas. And then the little kid once again saying ustedes to all of you, or you all to a group of people. All right. So find this in my classroom if you take me for Español Uno, and that's gonna help you learn subject pronouns a little bit. All right. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk to you about, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be something called present tense of AR verbs. Now, I got to tell you, and this is going to be on página 84, that so far in la clase de Español, we've already learned that verbs in Spanish are classified in their infinitives, and they end in 3 ways, okay? So you have your AR ending verbs, your ER ending verbs, and your IR ending verbs, all right? And so what I didn't tell you yet, and I'm going to tell you now, is that these verbs are convertible. In other words, they're going to morph into something a little different than its original form. And that way, when you do that, then you indicate who is performing the action. And, and that helps a lot when you're trying to speak in Spanish, all right? So let's start with the largest group of verbs, AR ending verbs. And again, you see the information in front of you on page 84, página 84, but let me give you the PowerPoint version, which is going to condense it a little, and hopefully, it'll be a bit clearer as well. All right, so, this screen is essentially what I already told you, that all of these are going to conjugate, okay? Now, you're going to be hearing that word a lot. As long as you're taking Spanish in high school and beyond, conjugate verbs. Conjugate. Okay, one more time. Conjugate. You need to conjugate. You need to change these infinitives around. You have to convert them around, but depending on who is the one doing the action. Okay, so let me show you. Let's take an AR ending verb that we've learned so far in la clase de Español. And I mean, there's so many of them. I mean, like, think about it. We learned hablar. We've learned caminar. We've learned estudiar. We've learned, let's see, what else have we learned? Bailar, cantar. Okay, all of those. Whoops, all of those. And so, but now it's time for us to figure out how to change them around and reflect who is doing the action. Okay, so this is how it works. Let's take your AR ending verb, and you can take any AR ending verb that we've learned so far, okay? So let's take hablar or caminar or bailar, or it doesn't really matter. The first step that you got to do, let's take your AR ending verb and let's get rid of the last 2 letters. Drop the AR, okay? And so what's left is the stem of the verb, okay? Kind of like a flower, but a stem is what you're left with, okay? The second step is you replace the AR that you took out with one of these letters in red. Do you see these right here? Okay. You see right over here. You would add those new pieces on to what was originally an AR. you swap that out with all of these. Think about like, Lego blocks, for example, everyone loves playing Legos, or used to play with Legos when you were a kid. So you just took off a couple of pieces and then you added new pieces, and that's more or less where you're going with this, okay? So once again, you can see the new pieces added to the word depending on who's the one doing the action, okay? Take a look at the next screen. Let's take our verb hablar, to talk, okay? Everyone knows hablar means to talk. So now, following these rules, let's go down the list, all right? Yo hablo, okay? You see what happened here? What was originally Hablar, took out the AR, replaced it with this right over here. And now I got a brand new word, yo hablo. And what that means is I speak, or I am speaking, okay? Let's do the same procedure for all the rest of them. Let's break the AR off of hablar. We're left with HABL, and now we put in new pieces. Tú hablas. You see that? Okay, so now you have tú hablas, and in Spanish what that means is you speak, or you are speaking, all right? And then just follow the pattern for the rest of them. Usted, or él, or ella, habla. Okay, now here's the part where I'm going to have to explain just a little bit. All of these people that we're talking about, they share this conjugation right over here, all right? So you could be talking to usted, and if you want to say you speak, you say usted habla. You could be talking about él, and you say él habla. You could be talking about ella, and you say ella habla, okay? So, usted, él, ella, they all share the same conjugation. They all share the same change here. Habla, all right? Let's go to nosotros, sometimes nosotras. So if I want to say we talk or we speak, nosotros hablamos. Once again, originally we had hablar right over here, and now take out the AR, put in AMOS in its place, make a new word, hablamos. And then finally, ustedes, all of you, ellos, them, or ellas, them, but only chicas, hablan. All right? So again, same procedure. Take hablar, drop the AR, put in the new pieces. Hablan is what you have right there, okay? So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to take a lot of practice in la clase de Español, but the nutshell here is that you take your AR ending verb, you drop the AR, you put in these new pieces, okay, because all of these correspond with all of these subject pronouns that you see right over here, okay? All these people doing the action that you see right here, and then these are your new words as a result, okay? So it's kind of like a math equation. It's almost like a formula type of thing. So it does take practice. Let's try another word, and maybe you'll be able to figure out where we're going with this, okay? Let's take estudiar, to study, another AR ending verb, okay? Now, if you get rid of the AR in estudiar, then we're left with the stem, ESTUDI, and that's it, okay? And so now, again, according to these rules, step 1, get rid of the AR. Step 2, add these letters in red. Now we have our brand new words once again. So if I want to say I study, yo estudio. You study, tú estudias. You formal are studying, usted estudia. He studies, él estudia. She studies, ella estudia. We study, nosotros estudiamos. You guys study, ustedes estudian. They study, ellos estudian. If it's chicas, then it's ellas estudian. All right, are you guys following me on this? Okay, great. And yeah, so that's basically what you got to do with AR ending verbs. They're convertible, they conjugate. And if you're wondering about when we're going to be doing ER ending verbs or IR ending verbs, well, that's going to have to wait because we're going to have to get this skill down first before we go on to ER ending infinitives and IR infinitives, okay? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do it. And that is the latest grammar video for Español 1, video número 8. Señor Barbosa staying late at work so I can teach you all the Español that you need to know. And so I hope you're doing your part as well, making sure that you're watching these videos. And don't just watch them once, go back and practice, especially with something that I just told you about with present tense of AR ending verbs. You know, if you're thinking to yourself, if you're watching this right now and if you're thinking to yourself, what the heck just happened, Señor Barbosa? Well, that's the beauty of YouTube. Pause this video, go back, and then watch it again. All right? But we will most definitely be practicing más en la clase de español, all of these newly acquired skills, okay? That's going to do it for me, señoritas y señores, and it's time for me to go home once again. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will talk to you in the next one. ¿Sí? Sí, muy bien. Take it easy, señoritas y señores. Adiós.